Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the 5 to 9 Creator YouTube channel. I've gotten a couple of questions in the past about my content creation process and my setup and how I organize things. So I want to introduce you to what I use, which is called Notion. I did a YouTube video not too long ago where I was talking about using Google Sheets, and while there's nothing wrong with that, it's a little bit less modern, and I really like the functionality that Notion has and how it's a little bit more user-friendly, where Google Sheets feels a little bit more like blocky and sort of archaic in a lot of ways. So this is what is called Notion. It's essentially like a data management tool, but again, it's a lot more modernized. It's fun to look at. The user interface is really easy to use. I only needed to watch a couple of tutorials to really understand what was going on, but it's one of those things that's a quick and easy thing to learn, and it makes a huge difference with your content creation. So let's go over this really quickly. So this is what's essentially called a table, like a data table. Not too unfamiliar if you are used to using something like Google Sheets, but you can organize it in a lot of different interesting ways. So let's go ahead and make my face a little bit smaller, because you don't need to look at my face that big. So we got all of our topics here. So these, whenever I come up with any sort of idea, even if it's just a rough idea, I put it in this topic category. And then I leave it in that spot, and then I can come over here and open this little area, and I can write more about it. So if I'm creating a short form piece of content, I'll have my hook, I'll have what I'm going to talk about in bullet points, and then I might have a CTA, a caption, and hashtags. I typically don't use those three because I'll just do them within the app that I'm posting to, because the hashtags are always different, all this different stuff. So that is a really useful tool. And it's really cool for being able to extrapolate and add more detail to a specific idea. Now let's go to tagging, because tagging, I think, is the most beneficial thing. So let's actually, let's make this a little bit, how do we make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see? Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. So we've got essentially 4 different, I forget what this is exactly called. I think it's called a select filter. So this is my TikTok funnel, my podcast funnel, YouTube, and articles when I was writing more articles. And what you can do is, let's say how to nail difficult TikTok sounds. So that is in the idea phase of my TikTok funnel. If I was to finish with the idea phase, I could then categorize it in the script writing or the ready to record. Let's hit ready to record. And then as a podcast episode, this is also ready to record. And then for my YouTube channel, it's still in the script writing phase. So I can add these labels to things. And here's why that's important. Then I can create another view of the same table. So I can take this data and I can view it in a different way. Let's say I want to view it for TikTok. It'll display it for me in a left to right sort of linear fashion. So on the left are all my ideas over here. And then as you go through the process, as a piece of content goes through the process, it goes from left to right. It goes from the script writing or the bulleting, whatever you want to call it, to the editing phase, to the ready to record phase, and then into the ready to post phase or distribution. So that is extremely beneficial. And I haven't seen any tool that is this easy to use for labeling where in the content creation process your video is going to be, or your article is going to be, or your podcast, or whatever it is that you are creating content around. So it's a very organized system, and other than having so many different ideas, I've never lost track of what I'm doing, simply because I have such an organized system. And when you start scaling how much content volume you put out, you 100% need this. If you're posting 1 video a day, if you're bulk recording content or batch recording content, you 100% need something that's going to be able to help you organize every step in the process. Otherwise, you're going to lose videos, you're going to forget where you put them, you're going to never record them because they're lost in the ether, so to speak. And then if I wanted to, I don't do this because I just do it on a scheduler, but you could have a calendar and you could show which, what day is being posted, or what content is being posted on what day, and so far, and everything else like that. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to show you before I leave is these are all my different tables. So hashtags is probably one of my favorites. So I have a hashtag database, and this is just from research on TikTok, and I think I didn't start on YouTube yet, but these are all my TikTok hashtags, and these are all relevant to my niche. This is from searching and trying to see how many views they have. This view column is not up to date, but at the same time, I'm not going to go through here and update all these. I just don't have time for that. The idea is to get an understanding of what's a narrow hashtag niche, what's a broad, and what's like a super broad, like, and I have them sort of labeled up here. So it's millions, 1 to 10 million, and the narrow would be less than 1 million. And so anyway, I can come through this and look at some hashtags and say, okay, cool. I'll use this hashtag, like content ideas for beginners. It only has 5K. I'm definitely going to rank for that in search. I'll go ahead and use that in some of my posts. So being able to distinguish what are some things that I can use from a broad, from a narrow, and from a somewhere in the middle standpoint with hashtags, I can organize it all right here, and that's really convenient. Another thing that's really beneficial is keywords. So if I'm on TikTok, Google, YouTube, I can go through and I can look at all these, look for keywords, and I can add them here. And so I can create a video out of this. How to overcome camera anxiety. How do I get the confidence in front of my camera? These are all things that people are actually searching for. And I typically only pick between the first and the fourth suggestion on YouTube, Google, and TikTok, because those are the ones that are being searched through the most. But what's really cool is that you can just organize all this information, and it becomes so much easier to understand, okay, this is what I'm going to make a video about, because this is what people are interested in learning about. So anyway, there's also, I have like content analytics. So these are my best performing videos. These are the statistics. And so I can extrapolate some ideas for why they were successful, why they resonated with people at the time, whatever it might be. And I can look to reorganize and recreate those videos in a way that's either more digestible or digestible in the same way, whatever it might be. So anyway, this is an absolutely amazing content creation, or I should say content organization tool and process organizing tool. If you don't have Notion yet, it's free for individuals. If you have a team, it obviously costs a little bit more. But if you're just somebody who has a single email account and you want to use it for yourself, it's 100% free and it's extremely useful. So a little shout out to Notion for making such an awesome plugin, or such an awesome software. Really do appreciate all the stuff that the team at Notion is doing for us. This is not sponsored, by the way. This is just an appreciation post. And so yeah, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or you want to say anything in the comments, be my guest. And if you want to see more videos about creating content as a 5 to 9 part-time content creator, make sure you subscribe to see more videos. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in a future video.